Hello, welcome to the first video on the IFR Made Easy series. So I am a real-time CESSNA pilot, like majority of my hours are on it. I made these videos in order to help my fellow flyers. Before watching these videos, I expect anyone who's watching to be at least private or commercially rated, so they know the basics in and out of the aircraft on how to fly and the aerodynamics of the aircraft. In this video, we'll be basically covering the Garmin 1000 basics, the instrument cockpit check, as well as the autopilot. So let's get started. And yeah, before I go forward, most of the videos will be based off on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Of course, it's a sim, but it is as close to reality gets. I have done majority of my training on Microsoft Flight Simulator, which works in real time as well. So let's get going. Let's switch on the aircraft. Let me remove this yoke. And I won't be following the full procedures, but I'll expect that everyone who flies this in real runs all the checklists completely. Use this video mostly as a reference video. So battery masters come on, and mixture idle cut off, throttle push in little, beacon light on. Let's start up the magnetos, and here we go. There's a crank, there it goes. And now let's reduce the power to 1000 RPM. Once the engine's stable, let's switch on the alternator. And so over here, what we have, this is the PFD, and what we have over here is the MFD. So this is the primary flight display, and this will be the multifunctional display. So most of the time these are configured. This side you'll have the map. This is the engine instrument system, and your primary flight display will have all the primary required instruments for an IFR flight. So just to start with, if I zoom in here, let's first of all identify our basics. So over on the left hand side, you have your airspeed indicator. This is a tape which runs from 0 up to I would say 200 knots. The red tape shows the speed at which the aircraft usually stalls. The white strip will start after where you can deploy flaps, and if we go up, you'll see a green strip that will basically show you the normal operating speed of the Cessna. After that, you'll have the yellow, which is basically your speed in zero wind conditions, which mostly doesn't exist. And after that, again, you'll have the VNO, the VNE, the never exceed speed. And as we go further, you'll have your VY, your glide speed, your VX, and your rotation speed as 55 knots, and it will go on the speed tape as well. Over here at the center, you have your attitude indicator on the top, and the attitude indicator increments of 5 degrees each, top and bottom. And on the top, you have your turn and slip indicator. On the right side, you'll have your altimeter over here, and this is where you feed your pressure setting. It'll be in inches of HE, or it can be in hectopascals as well for certain countries. And over here, if we see, this is the VSI, your vertical speed indicator, like how fast you're ascending or descending. Below here, if we see this compass, this is basically your heading indicator. So currently we are facing 011 degrees, and you can't see it yet because we are on the ground, and this is like zero wind conditions. There's also a diamond over here, if we can see clearly now. Not yet. So basically this is your heading, and the diamond indicates your track. if there's wind, your plane will be facing towards your heading, but be actually following the track. Now, if we go from here, you have your from the left, you can see over here you have your volume button. This is basically for your what do you say, identifying the nav aid. Over here, if you see over here, these are your navigational frequencies. So if you have noticed on the top of CESSNA, you will have two navigational antennas, nav1, nav2. You can like tune it to a VOR or an ILS, and let's keep it to that. We'll talk about them further in the like another video. Over here, we have the frequency selector for your nav aids. Currently, nav1 is selected. Now, if you press this, it'll go to nav2. So basically, you can change if you have selected your nav1. You can change the frequency, which is on the left hand side. So currently it's on 113.9. You can use the big knob to shift the digits on the left, and the small knob to shift the digits on the right. And if you want to, so currently this is the this is the frequency on standby. This is the current nav aid. It is like it's engaged or enabled. So you're currently tuned on to India Delta Delta Oscar. I don't know if that's a VOR. Most likely it's an ILS localizer frequency. So if you want to switch, you want to make this as the selected nav aid, you can go and click on this switch button. So if you click on this, this is selected. If you go back, this is selected. Same goes for the other one. You click it on the small knob, it'll go to nav2. And again, you want to make this as engaged, you click on this, and this is selected again. Now, this needle over here is basically your heading selector. So if you want to fly in a certain direction, you move it clockwise or counterclockwise. This will help you select the heading you're currently flying on. You come down here. This is your like, I don't use this side majority. I use only this for your nav aid, and so I like to shift on this side. This is on this side. This is your comms panel. So basically, same principle as the nav aids. These are the one on standby. These are the one on selected mode. So same thing, you want to change, you can click them clockwise and counterclockwise. You want to switch to COM2, you click it, you go to COM2. And this is the volume button for the comms panel. This was the volume panel if you want to hear the Morse code for the nav aids. Now, same if you want to go down. This big dial, if you say on this knob, this is for the baro. So baro basically refers to your pressure setting. So in order to find at what height you're sitting above the field, it's not basically above the field. That's it's the height above the standard sea level. So if you shift it clockwise or counterclockwise, that's basically the setting of the pressure setting. The small knob, this is used to change your course. You won't see it right now. We'll do this part of majority in the when we'll talk about the VORs. This is basically the range. If you have a map selected over here, this is basically to increase or decrease. You want to see the 10 nautical miles area or 20 nautical miles or much more. We will leave this part. This is basically for your flight planning. We'll do it in a while. And now coming to the bottom panel, and as well as this dial. This is also used for flight planning. Now, if you're gonna go here, these are the alerts if there's any malfunction. This is the list of the nearest airports. If you wanna fly to, we can select them directly in order to save time. This is your digital clock, and we'll do this part, the digital clock part in the ICC. This is, I will like to talk about this XPDR. So XPDR is basically transponder code, which is named as XPDR on Garmin 1000 avionics. So you click on this and you want to select, suppose you're given a squawk code of, let's say, squawk VFR. So you go over here, you click on this, you go 1200. So here, if you see, your XPDR is selected. It's on standby because once we take off, then it's active. Now you go back. Over here, these are the like your distance if you want to see. So if you want to select a DME or a distance measuring equipment, is selected in conjunction with a VOR or automatic direction finder. This is the CDI needle. So CDI basically stands for course deviation indicator. Currently, the CDI needle selected is the GPS one. You click it on once. This is the localizer one. So this is localizer because this frequency is selected up here. So basically it shows you the direction to this localizer. You click 2. This is now this one is selected. So this is how you activate which nav you want to use. And you click on it again, you're back to GPS. Now this localizer or this can change according to what kind of frequency you put in. It's a VOR or it's an ILS, and that's pretty much it. Now let's go and get it rolling, and after this we shall learn how to put in a flight plan. So let's rev it up, and lights all on, and let's pull in some power, and please excuse the what do you say, the marshal over here. I can't do anything about him as of now. Let's slow it down a little. So I'm telling you about all this PFD and MFD and etc. because most of the IFR flying, you'll be under the hood or some foggles, if you may say them. Foggles basically to simulate the fact that you're under clouds or the visibility is 0, because IFR basically means instrument flight rules. So you have 0 visibility and you're just flying dependent on the instrument. Now, before any takeoff, let's put in a flight plan, a sample flight plan. So currently we are at Sanford, and so if we go over here, okay, yeah. So if you click on the flight plan, you'll see you'll have the origin as well as the en route. En route basically means if you want to fly over a waypoint, a VOR, or a NDB, and this is the destination. So in order to load a flight plan, you need to have first of all your origin. So for this, you will have these knobs. So the big knob moves you around from the big menus, and over here you got to select. Now you're in the selection mode. So now you can rotate it. So we are at K. Now you rotate the big knob, KSFP. Let's select. This part is a little irritating on the flight sim because I can't do it as quick I would have done in an aircraft because it's easier to rotate. We are at K, S, F, KSFP. So once this is located, you press enter, and you want to select. During my time, they didn't used to have the set runway, but if you have it, you can just rotate the small knob and go to 9er left, because we will be taking off from 9er left. And you press enter, there you have it. You have your origin as your KSFP. Now suppose we want to go to, let's say, Orlando. Now you go over here, KMCO, KM C. Oh crap, sorry, I pressed this button. KMC gonna go to KMCO. Just let me zoom in a bit. It's hard to watch from here. KMCC, no, not KMCC. I'm gonna go to KMCO. KMCO. So I won't feed in the runway as of now because this is just a sample. So as of now, you'll be flying off from runway 9 left from KSFB to KMCO. Just to see how this works, you can look at your MFD. So here you can see that we will fly off, and this is a direct GPS line towards your KMCO. So this basically tell you the direct track over here, which heading to fly, or sorry, which track to fly, 195, that'll take you directly to KMCO. That'll change as you fly off because the direction changes, and this is your current track where we're standing at. So going back, now let's suppose I don't want to go directly because usually the distances are not that close, and over here you have the distance as well. You have 21.3 nautical miles. Now we can go to en route. Now suppose I want to fly via a point. Let's have a look, and yeah, most of the times I'll expect you have your IFR maps with you, because that will be helpful, because you won't be able to see the IFR charts. I use Navigraph, and so here we go. We are currently at KMCO. Sorry, at KSFP. Now, this is SFP, this is KMCO. Let's say I don't want to fight directly. I want to go to a place called, I want to switch on the low IFR charts. I want to fly first to MC, then to Mambo, and then fly to Orlando. So how would we do that? So basically MC and Mambo are GPS fixes. So it works for both, for VORs as well as the GPS fixes. So we want to feed in the point MC as well as Mambo. So we know the spellings. We should be actually sure on the spellings. Otherwise, the GPS will pick up something very different, which might be thousands of miles away. Happened with me. So better be careful of that. So let's put in MC and Mambo. How do we do that? Now you go to your en route tab and you start selecting again. And let's put in MC. Oh. So there's your first waypoint. So now you can see MC is also 15 nautical miles from us. And the second waypoint, we're gonna fix it as Mambo. There you go. And don't worry, guys. I know it's taking a lot of time. With practice and in real aircrafts with real knobs in hand, you'll be able to do it in like 2 minutes. It doesn't take much time. It's harder to do it on the flight sim because I have to rotate all these knobs all around. And there you go. There is Mambo. So now if you look at our map over here, it'll show us. So first of all, we'll be flying to, what do you say? Can we change the range over here? Can we? Oh. Okay, yeah. So the thing is, if you click it inside once and move the joystick around, it'll show you the whole map. So from here, we are going to, there's a point MC, and from here we're going to Mambo, and then from there we'll be going to all the way to your Orlando. Now if you click it again, it recenters again. And how we do that, we are going directly to MC because this arrow says so. All right, perfect. So this is how you feed in a flight plan. And now there's just one thing left on how to, if I want to just say, let's say that I want to delete, if I want to go directly to Mambo, I want to bypass MC. So what do we do here? We basically, oh crap. So basically we select the point. Suppose I don't want to go to, I don't want to go to MC. I want to go direct, or like the let's just say the ATC has asked us directly to proceed to Mambo by bypassing MC to save us time. So what do? We highlight this by moving the cursor over here. We press this button. This is the direct button. You click this, and this is Mambo, and you want to go enter. This says activate, and you press activate. Now what has happened is you'll go directly to Mambo because this is highlighted now, and this will show your distance up here. You're direct to Mambo, 19.54 nautical miles. And let's just say you want to delete the MC part as well. So you highlight this, you press clear, and it says remove MC, and you press enter. It's removed. Now it's gone. So that's how we feed in a flight plan, and that's basically pretty much it. So now we're done with that. Let's now check how to run instrument cockpit check, because that is essential. You'll be doing it before every flight, and it's pretty much important over here. And how do we do that? Let me open my maps over here, please. Most important thing before running the instrument cockpit check, make sure you have the correct barrel settings. As of now, I'm seeing on my Jepson charts that the SFB altimeter is at 30.45, so we need to update that. Let's put that in 30.45. What? 45. That's a little unbelievable. I'm sorry, I've put in the wrong one. It's 29.89 currently. I'm sorry. So that is the current altimeter setting, and I'm sorry, the pressure setting, not the altimeter setting. So over here you have basically the elevation over the field, 29.92. I'm so sorry for that again. Yeah, there you go. So that is done, and now we start running the ICC check. So always go from like make it a flow. The flow basically says that you go from left to right. So you have to make sure first of all your nav antennas are working correctly. So how do we do that? You basically test a localizer, and you test VOR as well. So let's just suppose we're gonna test the localizer. So if suppose 9 lefts are active as of now, so we open approach charts, you pick up the ILS frequency for I'll show you how. I'm sorry, I should be showing you this. So you go over here, you're the airport you're sitting at, dismiss, you go over here, you press on airports, and you press KSFB, press on this, you open charts, and you press on approach. Let's say you want to test out the ILS localizer frequency for 9 left, you press on this. This gives you the chart. So what do we do here? You have this, the localizer frequency for this is 108.9. So you put in 108.9 and make sure first of all that the localizer 1 is selected. So the antenna 1, it can be like this. So this 2 is selected now. You go to CDI again, you press it, there you go. Now it's highlighted, it's selected. Now once 108.9 is dialed in, you want a quick switch. Now, in order to identify correctly that you have the right frequency, I'm sorry, why am I pressing GSX? In order to make sure that you have the correct frequency, you have to make sure, I'm sorry, why do I keep doing this? Airports, KSFP, charts, approach, and ILS9 left. Yeah, so you want to make sure. So there's an identifier always, okay? So you want to go over here and yep, there it is. So if you look over here, this is the right frequency. This is the identifier over here, ISND, and it should read as ISND. All right. So there's that. Now, if you wanna like, now sometimes they expect you to adhere to the Morse code as well. So what do? You click on this. Oh, sorry. You click on this button. It's not working. Basically, what you have to do, you go on this comms panel, okay, and you select nav1. There you go, and you press this. Now, what you hear right now is the Morse code for this this 9 left localizer frequency. And once you start testing it out, this should be yeah, there it is. You see these dots? So basically, it should match this Morse code. Okay, what do you hear now? So now you can say that in a way that you have tested out. You switch it off. And same goes, now you want to test out the other antenna. Now you go over here, and for this example, we will, oh, I'm sorry. We will lock on to the, what do you say? The Orlando Executive VOR. It's taking time. Just a second. There you go. So the Orlando Executive VOR frequency is, just a second guys, I'm so sorry. Orlando Executive VOR is, if you check your charts, KORL, yep, there it is, I'm sorry. So the frequency is 112.2 and the identifier is ORL. Now if I tune that in, 112.2, and if I switch it, now this is on, you go on CDI, you press number 2, this is selected, there's your identifier, all right, ORL, this mass is this identifier. In order to hear the Morse code again, you gotta go over here, you've gotta press this time nav2. You press nav2 and you press it in, and we should hear something. I don't know why we don't hear anything, but there should be something. I don't know. Basically, this is supposed to make sound as well. Okay, again, the same Morse code. So now you have successfully checked out the localizer as well as the both the nav1 and nav2 comms. So now from there, we move on to the PFD. Now let's remove the flight plan. You always proceed from the left. Now, in this part, you're supposed to make sure that your digital PFD matches your standbys, okay? So over here, if you check it out, sorry for that. Okay, so how do you do that? You're gonna go airspeed, read 0, airspeed over here reads 0. The attitude indicator is within 5 degrees of error, so it can have a error of 5 degrees. Same goes for the standby. The altitude, okay, just remember this, the altitude over here and the altitude over here should be within plus minus 75 feet of the airfield elevation. So that is the error range that is allowed on the altimeter. And other than that, the VSI reads 0, okay. And then you go to your heading indicator. Your heading indicator, your compass on the top should match each other's directions. And other than that, you gotta go, just a second. Now we gotta test the because you have one pedostatic system and you have a standby as well. You are supposed to check that as well. So how do we do that? When we pull this, there should be a slight movement in the altimeter. You will see that. Now you pull this and there should be a slight movement over here, okay. This doesn't show, but in real time this will show some kind of movement, okay. That is done. Then you go to your time reference. You go and you start the clock just to I'm sorry, you go and you just check if the timer is working, and it seems pretty fine because it is digital. Now you move on to the right side. You basically go and check out the what do you say, your MFD now. So all engine instruments are in the green. The vacuum is slightly out of bend because you're on low RPMs. If we push it up to 1000 RPM, the vacuum system should work properly now. Yeah, it's a little in the green. And over here, you're gonna rotate this. I'm sorry. Okay. Information, you go aux. Sorry for that. VFR charts, this is slightly different. You're supposed to go to aux actually. Okay, you go engine systems. And over here, you're supposed to go to, just a second guys, I'm sorry for that. Flight plan, nearest, and aux. This is Navigraph settings. I don't know why this is happening. Yep, there it is. You go into system setups, and over here you're supposed to go to, you guys gotta make sure this is the current date and this is the current time. Then you go on the small knob, and sorry for that, and you're supposed to click it, and there you select it. You go all the way down. This is all correct, okay. This is basically the fields where you can change what you want to see up here. Mostly I've always kept it at ground speed, the direct track, my current track, and the estimated time of en route to my next waypoint. And then you go over here. That is done, that's fine. Then you go to, and you press it back. I can't find where to do like, I'm sorry, this thing is missing over here, and it's quite important. Please ask your instructor to make you learn two things how to do. One is a RAM check, a random autonomous integrity monitor. So basically that ensures that for the time whichever you're flying, your GPS, the number of satellites around the Earth, are visible enough so you get the exact and the correct reading of the GPS map. And secondary thing, you'll have to learn how to check the LRUs, line replaceable units. So it's a list. You have to make sure all are in the green, and then only you are a go. So that basically completes your ICC. After this, Uh, let's go and take off, and I shall show you. Oh, I'm sorry. Just let me put in the maps back. Yikes. Uh, oh, crap. So traffic map. There you go. I'm back on navigational maps. Okay. So let's go back, and let's get airborne now. Oh, finally. Finally, it's centered. Wow, that was one hell of a ride. So now, let's switch on the autopilot. Over here, let's keep an eye. So what do we do? So over here, you have the autopilot panel. So what do we do? First of all, still climbing. You switch on the autopilot. Okay? No, sorry. First things first, you got to set up the altitude. Now let us suppose this dial basically controls the altitude. The big dial controls it in thousands, the small dial controls it in hundreds. So let's just say we are trying to go to 5000. There you go. So what do? If we hit the autopilot right now, there you go. So basically it has control of roll and the pitch. Alright. So in order to climb, we will always use the VS mode. Alright. So currently it's in let's just say yeah, first you gotta hit the heading. Alright. So let's just say I wanna go to a heading of Mambo, so I gotta go to 274. So I rotate the heading bug, hit 274, yeah, and I hit heading. Now my aircraft slowly starts to turn. Okay, and just remember, guys, always that this aircraft is not equipped with the auto throttles, so you gotta maintain power on your own, right? So now it's turning. In order to climb, we always use the VS mode. Alright, you hit VS, it will show with what feet per minute you want to climb. Now let us suppose you want to climb with sorry, just a second. Radar approach alternator. Yes, FLC. Oh yeah, sorry. This is the flight level change. So let's just say you wanna so basically it'll climb on a constant speed. So it's right now says that it's climbing at 80 knots. Now suppose I wanna change that. So I will do. How do you do that? Yeah. So now I wanna just say I wanna climb at a higher speed. So what we'll do is nose down. If I press nose down, I want to climb at 100 knots. You gotta go nose down. This is 100 knots. So that'll basically focus on the speed. You'll keep climbing, but as you'll see, the rate of ascent has decreased. Once it hits 100 knots, it'll maintain that and still start ascending. Let's just say I want a higher climb rate. In order to do that, I'll have to climb at my VY. So you press nose up, 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 and you keep pressing 674. It pitches up, and it'll go up to 5,000 feet in 74 knots, and climb pretty steep. Right? And this altitude over here is the armed altitude. Once it reaches here, it'll level off, and then you'll have to manage your speed accordingly with respect to your power settings. In a Cessna, we have all seen that the cruise power settings is usually close to 23 or 2400 RPM, and this basically states that we're about to reach 5000. This is altitude hold. Now this will level off, and after this we shall reduce the RPM, otherwise the speed will keep climbing. You go 2300 RPM in order to maintain 94, 95 knots, whatever the cruise speed is. So that's pretty much it. Now if you want to descend, you hit flight level change, I'm sorry, you hit VS mode. All right, now if I want to change my altitude, you first of all select 3000, right? So this is the altitude that it's armed for. You hit VS. This will show you're currently at 0 feet per minute. All right, you go nose down, 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 down. You want to descend at 700 feet per minute, but now again, speed is at your discretion. You got to reduce your RPM to 1700 or whatever the power setting you want in order to maintain speed and keep descending as well. Now if I want a lower rate of descent, you press nose up. This goes 600 feet per minute, but for now let's keep it at 5000. Okay, you go flight level change, nose up, 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 and again when we climb we go full power. Yeah, and nose up, we're gonna climb at 78 knots, so we reach 5000. And so there's only one thing left in this, basically. So we are at 5000, you reduce the RPM to 2300 feet. Sorry, 2300 RPM or 22, whatever suits you. So altitude is in hold. Now we are currently in heading mode. So basically if you rotate your bug, the plane starts turning left or right. Now just in case, if I want to fly directly the route, yeah, so what do I do? First of all, let's make one thing clear. This GPS is pointing directly towards my next waypoint, that is Mambo, and I am deviated towards the left because this CDI is deviated 2 dots to the right. So in order to go towards Mambo, and if I want to fly this track over here, I'll have to turn right till the CDI matches center. How do we do that? You press nav. Okay, sorry, nav, yeah. So if you hit nav, this GPS becomes white. So basically this is armed. It doesn't directly go towards this needle. So what do you have to do? You'll have to turn towards the needle. All right, and once it feels that it is close enough, this will be armed, heading will go off, and it'll automatically shift to GPS. Let's see if that happens. GPS is armed. Let's turn further towards it. Okay, we're going towards it. Let's see if slowly the needle will start sliding towards us. We gotta be a little patient for it. Let's move towards it more. Second, we gotta give it a minute because this part takes time. As you can see, now the needle is moving. As it moves close, there you go. There it is. It's engaged. Now it'll fly on the track directly to Mambo, following this flight path. Okay, and it'll fly directly to Mambo, our point which is selected. Now let's say The ADC wants us to go directly to MCO. It wants us to negate MOBO. So what do? You go to flight plan, you roll on to MCO, you go direct, enter, and see, it changes. The GPS will remain constant. It'll automatically change the direction because the flight path has changed now, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it on the basics of Garmin 1000 as well as the Autopilot and how to run an ICC. So if you find this video of any knowledge or you have any questions, like if you find it of any knowledge, first of all I'll request you to like and subscribe this page. It's just brand new. It's my new effort towards my fellow flyers. Hope it can help. And other than that, if you have any questions, would love to hear from you on the comment section. I'll be happy to answer all these answers. And fly safe. Have a great day, guys. Bye bye.